Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am excited to share a card with you using the DIY Home Edition collection pack. I've created a masculine card with this, and today I thought we would change it up and create a feminine card with it. We're going to decorate the inside of our card using one of the Maker Series A2 pop-up card packs. This is a great value. You get 6 cards in here at a fabulous price point. And what this does is the front you decorate as you would a normal card. It's an A2, but on the inside it has a kinetic kind of a mechanism to where an element can pop out of the card. You can see here. So I thought we would create a feminine card using the DIY Home Edition and one of the Maker Series A2 pop-up card sets. Now, to create a feminine card, there's some feminine elements in here, not just for guys, but it's for gals too. I thought we would bring in a stamp set. Let me show you. This is the Bear Hugs stamp set, and there is a coordinating die. But I'm going to take out the pattern papers that I'm going to use, and then the sticker sheet. And the sticker sheet is what kind of inspired me to use this stamp set. Let me show you. I picked out some pattern papers, and then in our sticker sheet, this is a 12 by 12 sticker sheet, there is the honeydew. You know, everybody has a honeydew list, but I thought that would go really cute with the bear hugs. So we're going to create a fun card today. We're going to start by putting this off to the side, and I'm going to share with you the pattern papers I'm going to be using. Now I'm going to give you the names of the pattern papers because these are sold individually, not just in a collection pack, but you can buy them individually too. This is a cut apart sheet, 12 by 12. Lots of fun elements in here. I'm going to trim this out. If she can't fix it, no one can. I think this will be perfect on the inside of our card. So I'll trim that out, and the name of this is Fix It. And then I love the border sheets, and this is called the Saw It 12 by 12 sheet. The back side has some very fun stripes. We're going to be using this. We're actually going to be using, I'm going to trim down the plaid and then Fix It Queen. We're going to trim down a strip of this. And then lastly, this is a 12 by 12 sheet. I've just used it on our first card that we created with the DIY Home Edition. But this is the Stain It 12 by 12 pattern paper sheet. And the back side has that plaid, which is lovely. We're going to be using the brick and the plaid for our card today. So I'm going to trim down my papers, and then we are going to do a little bit of stamping. Okay, I trimmed down my papers, and this is the Fix It Queen strip that I was talking about. We're going to use this, and then these are 6 by 6 squares. When I card make with a collection packs, I like to trim my pattern papers into quarters, and so this is just the reverse side here. And these are 6 by 6 inch sheets. We're going to be using this on our card today. I'm going to put these off to the side. Before we start our card making, I do want to do a little stamping. And I thought we would stamp on some Kraft cardstock. The Kraft cardstock that I'm using is the My Colors Kraft cardstock. If you're looking for a nice weight and a real pretty Kraft cardstock, this is perfect for this. And I thought we would stamp our bear on here and then do a little bit of alcohol marker coloring, which will make it minimal because the cardstock does the work for you. So let's go ahead and take our bear. This is such a neat set because you can have the bear holding a heart, holding a gift, but I was partial to the honey pot, and then you can make it a boy or a girl, and of course we're going to make it girl. So let's take our bear. I'm going to stamp my bear with my black ink pad, and we will just ink this up and stamp this on our cardstock like so, and it stamps beautifully. And I'll do the same thing with our layering element with the honey pot. And then I have the little face of our bear. Of course, we're going to use the girl. We'll stamp this. Wonderful. And then there's a little bow in that stamp set. I'm going to stamp this too. Actually, let's stamp this on white cardstock. I'm not sure if I want to use the Kraft color bow or the white. So it's nice to have options. We'll color in both of these. Coloring with alcohol markers on colored cardstock is very easy. And I mentioned it's just very simple. We're going to start by just adding a little shading. And I'm using a brown color, and I'm just going to go around the ears and the body of the bear here. And when I get to the feet, I'm just going to stop, and I'll do the same thing to the other side. Wonderful. I'm going to do the same thing to the hands. Go around the paws and then go up to the side. We're going to use a lighter color. And then I'm going to use a blender marker. This is a 0 marker, and we're just going to fade these together. And I'm going to color in our little facial feature also. Here we go. This looks dark, but when you color on colored cardstock, it really does pull back a lot. I'm going to use a pink marker to rosy up the cheeks of our little bear. And for the most part, our bear is done. For the bows, I'm going really simple. I'm going to take a darker pink marker, and we're just going to color these in. Okay. For the honey pot, I'm going to use a warm gray for the honey pot. Then I'll use a lighter tone and fill this in. And then for the honey inside the pot, we're going to use a yellow. And then I'm going to add a little bit of shading with a darker yellow. And then that's it. Very simple coloring. Okay, I'm going to take the coordinating dies and I'm going to die cut out our images. We'll just lightly tack these down and I will run these through our die cut machine. Okay, I die cut out my bear and the honey and the bow, and I'm not going to use the pink one. I think we're going to go just with the Kraft cardstock. I think it looks wonderful. Now, ideally, you would just put a foam skirt behind here and add this to our bear, but I'm going to do something extra special. I'm going to take a craft knife, and I'm going to cut a slit in our honey pot, like so. See, we have a slit in there. And then in our sticker sheet, I thought we would add some tools. We have a hammer here. We can add that. And then we have the pliers, I think. Don't quote me on these. Like so. I think that will be fun having this sticking out of our little honey pot also. I'm going to flip around my honey pot. We're going to put a foam square behind here. And then I'm also going to trim down a small foam square, and we're going to pop up the bow too. I'm going to remove the release paper, and then we can add our bear. I want to adjust this a little bit. I think putting him off to the right is going to help. That way that we can see our cute little bear's face. And then we have our cute little bear holding some tools. And then I'm going to add a bow. To make her a little more feminine. Okay, so there's our bear. I'm going to put this off to the side. And now we're going to work on our card base. Again, we're using the Maker Series pop-up cards. There's 6 in a pack. And let's just take it out. There are full instructions on the inside, step by step. You can't go wrong. You have step 1 through step 5. And this is very, very well explained, easy to follow. I'm just going to grab the card base and also the second scored piece. We'll put this off to the side. I'm going to take my card base and we're going to score it at the score line. This creates an A2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch side folding card. And first we're going to decorate the card, and then we're going to work on the mechanism. I'm going to take my pattern paper. I just love brick pattern papers. And I'm going to trim this down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. Once my paper is trimmed, we're going to bring in the sticker sheet. And I like the letters that can say Mr. Fix-It, but it can also spell out Mrs. Fix-It. I want to spell out Mrs. Fix-It on my brick panel here. And you know what's nice is the brick layers are a great guide in spacing. After we have our Mrs. Fix-It adhered, we're going to take our border. I'm going to flip this around and we're going to use our tape runner, and I'm going to adhere it to this pattern paper. I just need a little bit more length on that plaid. And this is a great way to extend it. We're tacking this down, and I like that this is kind of at an angle, and then this is horizontal and vertical. So I just love that. I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to add some adhesive. We're going to tack this. I'm going to lift up this T here just a little bit, and then we're going to tack this at an angle. Wonderful. I love the way this looks. I'm going to take this panel, and before we add it to our card base, I always like to add a little bit of texture to my card. Now, since this is at an angle, what I'm going to do is take a hole punch, and I'm going to punch a hole just above the Fix-It Queen border. I'm going to create some little notches just above our Fix-It Queen border. Let me, you can see it on the reverse side. You can see a notch and then a notch here. Kind of hard to see with the plaid, but the notches are going to actually help with the twine. I'm bringing in some white twine. I'm going to wrap it around a couple times, putting it in that notch. And then when since it's at an angle, this is really going to help it from sliding down. Wonderful. And then we can take our little bear and we can add some foam squares behind her. Now I have the honeydew sticker. What I'm going to do is trim this. I'm going to angle one side here. And then I'm going to add some foam tape behind it. Now I'm going to take our honeydew and I'm going to tack it under the bear at the same angle as my pattern paper. It looks really cute. Okay, now to do the inside, it's very, very simple. What you do is open your card. And you know, we have some extra paper. We're going to trim this down and add this to the inside. Now, before we add our pop-up mechanism, which is super easy, I do want to doctor up my inside piece that we're going to put on our mechanism. I'm going to trim this down a little bit. Just using my paper trimmer. After I trim this down, I'm going to mat this on some of that brick cardstock that we use for the front of our card. We'll just turn this around and we will layer this together. Wonderful. So our inside piece is good to go. Now to create our pop-up, it's very super simple. There's score lines. There is a score line on one side, one score line on one side, and then there's two score lines on the other side. You want to make sure that the single score line is facing the left, okay? I'm going to go ahead and reinforce these score lines. One, it's just going to help help with the mechanism, but it's also going to help you guys see where those score lines are. If you want to use a bone folder, you can, but okay. I suggest folding them all under, but you can go back and forth just to break the fibers in the cardstock. Now that we have our score lines, you can probably see them a lot better. What we're going to do is take adhesive. Now I suggest a strong adhesive. You can use your tape runner or glue, whatever you prefer, but make sure it's strong. I'm going to use my score tape. Score tape is easy to adhere. And I have the thinner one, so I'm going to add 2 strips all the way to the right on the single score line side. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing all the way to the left side. So we're going to add adhesive all the way to this side too. And again, I'm using score tape, but you could use any kind of tape. After we have score tape adhered to the left and right, you're going to remove the release paper off of the left. Okay? And then we're going to keep the release paper on this side, on the right side. Now I like to fold my card up like this. I'm going to add this on the inside of my card. I'm going to center it, and then you just fold the front of the card over. Very easy to do. The card base does the work for you. And then you get to open it up, and this flap is going to be behind the front of your card. Okay? Remember, we have that score line, so what we're going to do is make sure that's reinforced once more, and then we have 2 score lines here. You're going to fold this over at the second score line. Let me show you. So you have the adhesive here, and then this is the second score line. Okay, fold it over, hold it flat, remove the release paper off of your tape, continuing to hold it flat. You just take the back side of your card base and just fold it over. Press down really good, and then you're ready to see your pop-up, and that's it. I mean, you can't get any easier than that, and it folds very flat. You see? And then when you want to add your pop-up item, all you do is secure this on the inside of that mechanism. I'm using my tape runner, or you can use glue if you want. I'm just lightly tacking it, and then you can close it. Press down really good, That way it's secure, and when you open up your card, you have a nice little mechanism in there. Now, since we have lots of stickers, I think I'm going to add one more sticker on the inside. And I like this one that has the little house with all the tools. We're going to add this on the inside, kind of at an angle, so it's tucked out from behind there. And you have plenty of room here for a message. And then that is our card today. A Mrs. Fix-It card. Super fun using the DIY Home Edition 12 by 12 collection pack, and also the Maker Series A2 pop-up card set. I hope you get a chance to check it out. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. We will see you again next time. Bye-bye.